Some people might find this series slow and redundant, but I found it thought-provoking and haunting. Chase Liaki here with the Blue Futon reviewing The Days. So what's this about? Pretty simple premise. This is based off a true story and the book that was written about the Fukushima nuclear disaster, what occurred after the earthquake and the tsunami. And did I like this show? I really did. This is one of the shows where, like I said in the intro, some people might find it boring, redundant, and you're just like, the series is going nowhere. I completely disagree with that. And the reason I disagree with that, because we are getting to know the government, the companies, the people involved, what people are willing to sacrifice. And just the last episode, it didn't go the direction I thought it was, but it truly heightened the show as a whole. So when we talk about the positives, like I said, this is a slow burn series where it's trying to give you as much details as possible. I hate some shows or movies that skip through the main details, like, oh, since this is the action set piece, this is action, we want to just show what we want to show. The biases go out the window. Here, they decide not to do it. They show the government side, the company side, these people stuck in the reactors, the military, what everyone is trying to do to make sure these reactors don't explode. And they do it in a methodical way where an idiot like me or an idiot like 95% of the world has no idea what goes on in the nuclear reactors, tells them, we got to do this, and we got to do this. Now let's read these reports. Let's read what we have to do. How do we get from point A to point B to point C? Is it dangerous? What about these radiation levels at each stage or each location in these reactors? And which 5 of them are about to explode? What is the media saying? And I'm just like, it's sucking me in because I'm getting to know this detail and I feel like it is helping me understand what is actually going on there. And they do it in a fantastic way of doing that because they don't assume people know what happened. They don't really assume people read the book. And I think that's what a lot of TV shows and movies do now. They assume someone read the book or read this magazine article, and they're writing it, and they're assuming, everyone's seen Miss Marvel, everyone saw Secret Invasion, everyone saw, XYZ, so you must understand the Marvel. No, here they're like, you know what? Let's give you as much detail as possible. And I enjoyed that. However, like I said, I enjoyed the acting, I enjoyed the environment, I enjoyed everything that was occurring. And the last episode I'll discuss at the very end. But if you had to give some negatives to the show, sure, you could say it's slow. There are some scenes where you're like, okay, what are we trying to get to? But then at the same time, I understand why the creator's doing it that way because nothing is that fast-paced. Nothing is that fast-paced. No one knows where the water's coming from. No one knows where the power is. No one knows how to get the power back on. What are we going to do with these car batteries? And so it takes thought-provoking. It takes time to get these, situation scenarios on paper and get through the right channels. And this shows it. A lot of Japanese shows do that. You have like the Godzilla movie, the Shin Godzilla. A lot of the Shin movies in general where it shows the methodicalness of the Japanese government, or you could call it, just not taking action. Because there's one scene where the prime minister should have gotten some information and people were scared shitless to give him that information. And that's where I was like, what are we doing? So the last episode decides to go like 30 minutes. It's about an hour episode. 30 minutes of it is, finishing off how we're getting water into the reactors, this giraffe thing. Then the other half is, no joke, kind of going into this real life footage of like the American military helping the Japanese. You have just this guy now narrating of what occurred. People pissing blood. People risking their lives to make sure people could live in here the next couple of years. But apparently people can't live in this district or region for the next 50, 60, 70 years. So it's really haunting. But overall, The Days, I was intrigued by this. I was fascinated by this. This took me by the balls and it held me. And people who didn't like it, I feel like they don't have an attention span at all. And their mind goes to TikTok every 2 minutes in their brains. So The Days will receive a 4.5 out of 5 with futons, which equals at 90%. Let's see the critics' news scores gave this one. So you have critics a 50%, audience score is 73%. Let's see how many critics there are. We have 8 critics and over 50 audience score, no critic consensus. I'm going to take a random guess. They're going to try to compare it to Chernobyl, and they do. The problem with Chernobyl, when you have the creator saying, I'm comparing it to Trump, how the fuck can you compare that to Trump? It's just like, yo, your politics is bullshit. Anyway, 90, 50, 73. Chase Luck here with the Blue Futon. Like, comment, subscribe. One of the things, Futontopia, you Bufutons, you have a great day on today, tomorrow, a week from now, a month from now, a year from now, every single freaking one of you. And I know shows like this might be like, we should never go to nuclear. But actually, nuclear is the cleanest energy of them all.